In the past month alone, I've spent more money twice due to the power of upsells. And in this video, I want to break down how these upsells worked so that it can inspire you to incorporate more upsells into your own marketing and sales process. And sometimes when you think of upsells, you think of, buying something online and there's a little checkbox that says, do you want to add on this thing for $10, $15, right? That is an example of an upsell, but upsells are so much more prominent than you might think. And these two examples are a little bit out of the box. And when you think about it in your own life, you'll probably realize how many times you've spent more money just because somebody's offered you an additional product or service to go along with what you were already buying. So example number one is that I was recently at Texas Roadhouse, which is like an American food restaurant here in the United States, with my wife. And I ordered steak fries as a side for $10. And that's what I was going to order. So the waitress was taking her order. I said, I'm going to take steak fries. And she said, would you like to make them loaded for an additional $1.75, which loaded means like cheese and bacon and things like that. And prior to her asking that, I had no inclination at all to upgrade my fries meal, right? But when she said it, I'm like, you know what? That actually does sound good. Yep, you know what? Let's go ahead and make them loaded. Ring, ring. I spent an additional $1.75 on that. So my total was $11.75 instead of the 10. And you might be thinking, well, that's not really that much of a difference, right? But when you put the math at volume, it actually does make a difference, right? So $11.75 versus 10 is a 17.5% increase. And let's say that 1 in 4 people say yes. So every 4 people that they ask if they want to have loaded, 25% of them take them up on that offer, which I think is pretty reasonable. That would be a 4.3 increase in sales of people that order steak fries at Texas Roadhouse, which is a lot of people. And when you think of the restaurant industry, where margins are already pretty small in and of themselves, being able to increase your fries revenue by 4.3% over a year-long period actually makes quite a difference, right? So this is just one example of an upsell in the restaurant industry. A couple days after that, I had hired a painter to come to my house and paint our porch, and he had quoted me $350. Cool. I was ready to go ahead and hire him for that job. When he was talking, he was looking around the house and he said, you know what? The paint would actually stick a lot better and your porch would look even more nice if we did a power washing of the whole front of your house before we painted. And that would be an additional $150. Thought about it for a second, was thinking about what he was saying, and I said, you know what? That actually makes sense. Let's do it. So instead of spending $350, I ended up spending a total of $500, which is almost a 43% increase from what I was going to originally spend at the $350. If he would have never offered me this, I probably would have never even thought about it, and he would have never gotten the sale, right? But he upsold me. And if 1 in 4 people say yes to this, that's a 10.7% increase in their revenue just from their existing customers. Okay, so when you think about upsells, think about how they position these here. And here are some of the things that came to mind for it. Number one is post or pre-sale. Now, in both of these cases, these were both pre-sale opportunities, but you do have the opportunity also to do an upsell after. So let's say he came to our house, he did the outdoor porch paint job, and then he said, you know what, I noticed your back porch also needed paint. I could do 25% off of that if you're looking to also add that on. Now he's got me for an upsell post-sale. But in this case, it was pre-sale because he got that in before I actually converted into a customer, okay? Number two is you want to educate on best practices. One of the things that I said here is he didn't just say, well, do you want me to do the power wash too for $150 and then end it there? He explained how if you do the power washing before you do the paint job, it's going to make the paint look nicer, last longer, et cetera, et cetera. So he talked about the importance of how if you spend a little bit more money on this, it's going to make your original product better, quicker, all that kind of stuff that goes into it, right? So he educated me on the best practices, okay? Number three is a little bit of urgency. So in some cases, when you do upsells, you can say something like, if you're willing to add this onto your existing service, we'll actually give you 15% off because we're bundling them together, right? Or secondly, you might say that this is a one-time offer for people who make this product or make this purchase right now. So when you add a little bit of that urgency in, especially if it's either you have to do it now to get it at all, or you have to buy it now to be able to save and get that bundling discount. That makes a big difference. And then number 4 is you want it to be a small bump. And an example of that is if I was getting this outdoor porch paint job and he said, oh, for an extra $10,000, I can do your entire roof. Of course, I'm going to say no 99.99% of the time, and so will many others. But this is a small enough bump where, yeah, $150 is still $150. But when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's only going from $350 to $500. Okay, I can kind of reason with that in my head. And the same thing over here, going from $10 to $11.75, whereas in the grand scheme of things, it's going to make a big difference for this restaurant chain. For me, $1.75 isn't going to be a big deal either way. So you want to make sure that when you're doing upsells and order bumps in your business, you want to make them small enough where it's meaningful for your business, but it doesn't create such a decision fatigue for the customer that they're going to say no just due to the price shock of what that sticker is. So hopefully these can inspire you to think about how you can use upsells in your business. This is such a great opportunity to add more top line and bottom line revenue without having to acquire any more leads or customers to get there. So thank you for watching this video. And if you were looking for more marketing your business videos just like this one, I ask you to subscribe down below because I'm creating marketing content just like this all the time with the purpose of getting you more leads, more customers, and making more impact with your business. So thank you and have a great rest of your day.